So if you think about Credibly, the big question is this institution credible when it comes to giving you a business loans? I mean, they have a good name, don't get me wrong, but big question is it really worth it this year? Can you trust them? So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Credibly business loans or credit, whatever they give in terms of business funding, and whether or not it's actually worth it for you this year to actually consider them, okay? So let me first define for you what credibly really is and what it's not, because people actually have a little confused when it comes to what credibly really does. So if you think about credibly, I want you to think about an online lender, okay, first. But it's not actually a direct lender. So credibly is actually a mixture of fintech, but also alternative lender, okay? It is a data-driven online fintech lending platform specializing in short-term financing to support small business growth. Okay, so you're looking at actually all the way to 2 years or 3 years, and so its main products. If you think about Credibly, the main products you find on this platform include working capital. They do merchant cash advances, but sometimes they also have lender partner loans. Okay, so they provide access to small business loans through their lender partners. That's why I was talking about a hybrid approach. Sometimes they will be direct lender on some loans, especially the small loans. But on the big one, they would rather just direct them to their lending partners. Okay. So if you think about Credibly, their main selling points are quick access to funding and lower credit scores. Okay. So if you have any score below 579, Credibly can still work with you. And you can get anywhere from 5,000 all the way to $600,000. This is really good, and you can get funded within 24 hours. Okay, so if you need lots of cash and your credit score is low, or you're looking for a low doc, no doc sort of loan, business loan, Credibly is actually let's say an alternative lender for you. They started in 2010, so they've been around for a while now. Okay, they're based in Michigan, and so they actually cater to small businesses, but also medium-sized entities, so SMBs. So if you think about Credibly, what kinds of loans are available through this platform? So you have working capital loans, you have merchant cash advances, and you have lender partner loans. And every time the maximum is $600,000. So the loans go from five grand to $600,000. And in terms of the repayment window, I think I've already told you before, this is a short-term business lender. They do not believe in giving you money and counting on you to pay them back over 5 years. No, they will give you like for the working capital loan, for instance, they are giving you a repayment window of 6 to 18 months. Okay, so 6 to 18 months. That can be tough, especially if you're not generating enough revenue to be able to really take care of that cash outflow. Okay, and so there is actually, and this is important that I need to say this, there is a 2.5% origination fee on working capital loans, and the repayment with Credibly working capital loans is actually daily or weekly. Okay, so I mean the loan is there to kind of help you cover everyday expenses, but you gotta also pay them back as often as possible. So what does everyday expenses mean? Well, purchasing inventory, making payroll, paying rent, that kind of stuff. Okay. You also have merchant cash advances. Again, here the advance amounts are capped at $600,000, minimum 5 grand, maximum $600,000, and the interest here is in terms of factor rates. So factor rates start at about 1.09. Okay, and the fees for MCA's merchant cash advances, they start at 2.5% and go all the way to 2.75%. The repayment actually is through daily remittance of credit and debit card sales. So this is something that you really need to think about. And there are cases where Credibly wants to finance small business loans that actually go a little higher, like they can go all the way to $1 million or $10 million. If that happens, if you have a repayment window that goes from 18 months to 5 years, when that happens, basically Credibly wants to partner with it with other lenders. So they tap into their lender partner, their lender network. They do the same thing for long-term loans, business lines of credit, or equipment financing. They also do the same for SBA loans too. So, how do you qualify for Credibly? How does your small business qualify for Credibly? First of all, you have to really understand the type of business funding program you're interested in. Okay. Are you looking for a working capital loan? Are you looking for an MCA, a merchant cash advance? Are you looking for a business line of credit? Are you looking for an unsecured term loan? Are you looking for an SBA loan? Whatever you're looking for, you got to first be clear about that before actually thinking about the qualification, because those qualifications largely depend on the loan type. Okay. I'm showing this to you on the screen here that basically for a working capital loan, for instance, the credit score minimum, the minimum credit score is 500. It's the same thing for a merchant cash advance, but for a business lines of credit, the minimum credit score goes to 600. So the conditions are stricter. And for time in business, for working capital loan, 6 months, merchant cash advance, 6 months, business line of credit, 6 months too. But for SBA loans, they want 2 years. And annual revenue usually revolves around 180,000 grand. Okay, so at $180,000, so you are looking at what, $15,000 a month. So for you to really hope to get something from Credibly, it's better if you are generating at least 15 grand a month in revenue. This is not income though. This is revenue. This is gross revenue. So this is before all the expenses. Okay, so this is important. But just be aware that they will charge you 2.5% of the loan or advanced amount, in addition to the interest rates they are charging. So you got to really understand those costs beforehand. And also, in some cases, they might require a UCC blanket lien for some funding arrangements, especially if they see that the loan amount is kind of high. How do you apply to Credibly for business financing? If you are interested in their loans or their lines of credit, how do you go about getting the whole process started? First of all, you want to complete the pre-qualification questionnaire. This is kind of cool because it gives you the ability to get things done fast. Okay, so and this is a soft pull process, so nobody's checking your credit. They're not going to check your credit. This is a soft pull process. So just complete the initial online application. You'll enter like basic stuff like your name, phone number, and email address. Then you will enter your business information and select which loan you want. Okay, it takes about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to complete. And then once you do that, you have to speak to a representative. Okay, and the agent will go over the amounts, rates, and terms for you. And they will also discuss with you the documentation requirements, like the paperwork that they need based on the amount you're looking for, but also the type of business funding you are asking for. Okay. And step number 3, you just need to provide additional info like valid government issued ID for all business owners, business lease agreement or mortgage statement, business bank account statements for the previous, let's say, 3 months, most recent business tax return for loan request over $100,000. So if you're asking for if you're asking for 6 digits, be ready to provide your most recent 1120S, 1120, or 1065. Okay, and if you're asking for an MCA, if you want a merchant cash advance from them, then they need to see the credit card statements. And so once you actually provide everything, they'll review it. It takes 24 hours. And once you're accepted, you just go through the process. You get funded. Okay. They will transfer the funds to your bank account. In some cases, you will receive same day funding, but this could take like 48 hours to 72 hours for you to see exactly what's really happening. Okay. But otherwise, the process is pretty streamlined. So, what are the advantages of Credibly? So, if you think about Credibly for your business financing initiative, what kind of benefits can you really think about? Well, first of all, you have low credit score requirements. That's pretty good. Think about it. Not a lot of business lenders will go as low as 500, sometimes even 450 when it comes to FICO score. So this is really important. And one thing I want to say also is that they do have the pre-qualification process. That's really good because you are still preserving your FICO score. And that's what you want. You want to preserve your FICO score so that you don't really lose too many points in the process of getting a business loan from someone, right? So you just plan to spend 5 to 10 minutes. This is really good. Also, a very fast loan loan application process. Okay. So after pre-qualified, you can finalize the application process in as much as 24 hours, sometimes 36 hours. And one thing I want to say also is that Credibly provides access to up to 7 business financing products, including the coveted SBA loan program. Okay, so this is something to really think about. And so those are some of the advantages, some of the main advantages of Credibly. What about the disadvantages? Well, one thing for sure, basically, you are going to cope with high interest rate. High interest rates are really just crazy. And on top of that, Credibly is charging you 2.5% origination fee. That's really high. But listen, there are other lenders that charge way more. Sorry about that. So basically, they charge you a 2.5%, but some lenders are charging you 10%, for instance. If you take Upstart, you take Upgrade, you take Main Financial, you take Avant, all those lenders, they're charging you like 10%. Okay. So what are some other disadvantages? Well, you also have you got to be in business for at least 6 months to be eligible. Okay. On top of that, you need to really understand that your business has to generate $15,000, okay, in monthly revenue to actually qualify, because they set the yearly limit at 180. That translates into a monthly credit and a monthly limit of $15,000. So, what are the pros and cons here? If you think about Credibly, what kind of pluses, what kind of minuses should you really be contemplating this year as you approach them, as you talk to them, as you start a conversation with them? Okay. So, first of all, low credit scores are accepted. You have a quick and easy pre-qualification process. You have fast funding times between 2 and 5 business days. Okay. And what I love also is that they have a unique quick draw program for eligible borrowers. And the quick draw program is actually good if you are a repeat customer. Okay. You've been with them for a while, and they're comfortable working with you. So they will set you up in a very special way. Also, you have multiple loan options with funding up to $600,000. $600,000, that's really fantastic. And you also have early remittance discount available for MCAs. So this is kind of cool. So that's for the plus side. What about the minus side? Well, high interest rates are actually there for short-term funding. Okay. You have origination fees and monthly admin fees for MCAs. So those can really add up big time. And right now, the Credibly, as you saw earlier, the program is not available for it's not available to startups. So if you're a startup or you are a business that's been in existence for less than 6 months, Credibly doesn't want your business, doesn't want your loan application. Okay, and the high monthly revenue requirements actually is a big deterrent for a lot of small businesses. Okay, so it's something to really think about if you want to go with this lender. There are a few things you need to really think about. Okay, and wanted you to think about those things big time. So, to actually close to this conversation about Credibly, one thing I want to say here is that I just want you to I want to reinforce the fact that Credibly has been around for a while. They've been through ups and downs. I mean, during COVID, they were lending like crazy to interested borrowers. So I love that. And so the company has been in existence since 2010. Okay, this is a legitimate and reputable online lender. Okay, they have accumulated more than 1,300 reviews on Trustpilot. So this is kind of cool. And on top of that, they are actually like their ratings on Trustpilot or Reddit are kind of high, or even a triple B, Better Business Bureau. Okay, you're looking at an average of 4.7 to 4.8 out of 5 stars. So this is kind of cool. And on top of that, the fact that they do only a soft credit pool at the very beginning, that's really fantastic too, because that really increases your chances of actually of actually having damaged credit for for a long time. I mean, sorry, for a long time. Okay, so that's something to really think about. And also, I want you to really understand the fact that Credibly is a hybrid lender. So they are a direct lender in some cases and an indirect lender in others. Okay, so basically, for instance, they are a direct lender for the working capital loan and merchant cash advance products, but its network of lender partners provides funding for the other business loan products listed on the company's website. So this is something to really think about. And but overall, fantastic. Okay, so Credibly is a viable lending option for your business if you need quick funding, but you don't have the credit score to qualify for, say, the traditional loan, right? Now, the costs are higher than some short term lenders, but it may be worth it if you can't get approved elsewhere. Okay. And also, if your business earns less than $15,000, you need to find a different lender because, you can't really go through this lender. And also, more established businesses with good to excellent credit can likely find cheaper alternatives with similar or faster funding times. That's just something to really think about this year. So, in closing arguments into this conversation, I spoke to you about Credibly. I explained what Credibly loans are used for, what kind of loans are available, how can you qualify for a Credibly loan, how do you apply, what are the pros and cons, and what are the advantages and the disadvantages. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.